So Coastfi really just means that you have front loaded all your retirement accounts, your 401k, your Roth IRAs, and maybe your HSA to the point where if you never contribute another dollar, by the time you reach retirement age, those accounts would have grown large enough to fund your lifestyle for the rest of your life. And that's a huge load off. The same way we've talked about in the previous video, how having an emergency fund doesn't necessarily mean you can quit your job. Actually, it doesn't mean that at all. But it does provide a sense of relief. It does get rid of that burden of, in case something happens, what am I going to do? Right? It does do that. Having reached Coastfi does something very similar where you don't have to worry about retirement accounts anymore. You can now use that money that you were using to contribute to those accounts for whatever you see fit. If that means that you want to increase your lifestyle a little bit, if that means you want to go on more trips, you can do those things and not feel guilty about it. You're set at retirement age. And I think that the mental part of that is huge. Now, it is different from regular financial independence, right? Regular FIRE, because you still have to work. So if you reach FIRE, financial independence, retire early, that means you're done. You don't have to work another day in your life. Congratulations. I'm jealous because that's what I aspire to. I don't want to work till I'm age 60 or whatever. But maybe you do. So for us, we are about a year away, give or take, from reaching Coastfi. And what that means for me is the choice we've already made is we're not going to necessarily increase our lifestyle. Instead, we're going to use that money that was going towards those retirement accounts. And that's now going to go to the bridge account, which is going to allow us to retire at an earlier age and bridge the gap from that earlier age until we have access to those retirement accounts. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I have some numbers here, assuming that I reach the number I need by age 45. So again, this is just an example to kind of walk you through how we would figure this out. We are going to take some liberties with some of the numbers here, including the annual interest rate or growth rate. It's impossible to predict that, down to the T, but we can make educated guesses. So here we're going to assume that at age 45, right? So I have 180 months left. That puts me at age 60, which is when I want to retire by. I need to have $630,500 put away if I'm assuming an 8% return year over year. And again, that's an educated guess. Please don't come after me in the in the comments about not being spot on, because that's impossible to do. And you can change the numbers as you see fit. So if we assume that, I will end up with the $2 million at age 60. Now, what does that mean? $2 million, if I'm using the Trinity study or the 4% rule, that's known as both, means that I can comfortably live off of $80,000 a year for the next 30 years. Okay, that's what the 4% rule states, that you can pull 4% of your accounts and it'll last with like a 90-something% success rate for around 30 years, plus or minus, usually plus. That's good for me. That's our goal, because we'll also have a pension. We'll also have Social Security. So that's plenty. So our goal is this right here, $630,500 by the age of 45. Yours might be different. I'm actually curious. So if you want to leave me a comment below to see by what age you want to have it, how much you would need, that'd be good to know. But these are basically the numbers you need for that. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it's not necessarily going to change your life. Well, I guess it could, because it frees up some money for you, right? Frees up some flexibility for you. And you can spend that money. You can take a different job that maybe is less stressful and pays a little less, since you don't have to make those contributions anymore. You can take that money and pay off some low interest debt, which actually amplifies the amount of money you get to keep. So let's say you have a low interest rate on your home, right? And if you're looking at just efficiency, that's not usually the most efficient way to use your money, by paying off that low interest rate. But if you have it because you're not making those retirement contributions anymore, Now you pay off the house. Now you no longer have a mortgage anymore either. And your situation just gets better and better because your cost of living is so low now. So that even reduces the amount that you need in retirement. So you can see like the flexibility it provides is insane, right? It's of great value. So I highly recommend, maybe running through some numbers and seeing how close or how far you are and then adjusting accordingly and trying to hit that number. So I hope this was helpful and I will see you next week.